And thank you to Swiggy and congratulations to all the winners. In 10 years to show a remarkable impact on our society, particularly on women, and to encourage entrepreneurship, I think Swiggy deserves a special mention. So there should have been one award for Swiggy as well, but I'll do it orally, that they have taken this kind of a women-friendly approach and making sure that the performance of women are recognized and rewarded. It is certainly something which I can say for sure aligns with what Prime Minister Modi and the Government of India believes in. There was a time when we spoke about keeping women at the center of policy making. Then we moved over to talking about women and women-related budgets. Then there was a time when in India that is, when we spoke about women in employment. Are we seeing them? Are we counting them? Are we seeing what the contribution is like, and so on? But today, with all the paucity in data, I can see there's a great vibrancy in women-related activities, and women are coming forth and taking up business challenges. Small, medium, big, you find women everywhere. And programs such as this certainly give that necessary encouragement and a little bit of a push for other women to see it is possible to make it. After all, women who come and showcase what they have done are not extraordinarily talented or extraordinarily supported women. They are actually women from the society as much as you and I are, and who need just that motivation within themselves to come and take the challenges. And once they are there, there are organizations, and here in this case, such as Swiggy, which help you to grow your business, brand your business, and take it forward. So I'm sure each one of you today, those who received the award and those who have not made it for the awards, will still be the inspiration in your immediate neighborhood, in your circles, and also I'm sure many of your customers are going to be so inspired by what you're doing. Even if they don't indulge in it themselves, they are going to spread the good word. And that is a big marketing tool. So you're there to stand and benefit from it. There are quite a few things which we heard in the introduction when the organizers spoke. But I think I stand here before you as a proud member of this government, which consciously has taken policies to support women. The one big example which was mentioned briefly, but I'm not going to take too much of your time to say it, but in the defense sector as an area itself, from the bottom layer of Sainik schools to women at the borders, it was because of the strong push which the Honorable Prime Minister gave that there was Sainik school admission for girls, separate Sainik schools for girls set up, and even into entry into the National Defence Academy or Rashtriya Institute for Military, women started entering in. And even in the three forces, plus one, the Coast Guard, entry of women had its own reservation and limitations. They were given temporary assignments, but not a permanent commissioning. Even those were pushed with so much fervor, taking everybody on board, not to impose on the establishment, but to tell them what contribution women can make. And they were themselves very seized of the facts. But it does take a bit of a time and effort to cross that hump to actually open it up. And I'm indeed grateful to the three services and also to the Coast Guard, who readily came about and said, all right, time is up, now we'll have to do it. And therefore you find women now getting permanent commissioning in the armed forces of India. And many of them are now flying fighter jets. They are being posted on aircraft carriers in the sea and also in the borders. So these kind of changes are rapidly happening in India. And the policy of the government is also to help women, whether it is from the birth, ensuring that there is a good sex ratio so that men are not going to be 1,000 in count against 700 women at birth. Men and women should have roughly the same number. So today we are somewhere in the range of 900 women or girl children being born to every 1,000 boys. I'm not giving you exact numbers, but those are the kind of changes which have happened even in birth. The Poshan Abhiyan has been making sure that the poorest of poor women get enough nutrition from their adolescence till bearing children's age. And other than that, for working women, till recently, the maternity leave which was available for them was only 12 weeks. Our government it was which raised it to 26 weeks for women to get paid leave for maternity benefits. We have also opened up paternity leave so that men, the fathers who would want to be there but who can't because of the nature of job, are also given that space so that they can take care of their children and be of support at home. There are so many such policies which have been taken up, but we're talking to people who have just taken up entrepreneurship, like you, who have come out and readied yourselves to take the challenge of being in business. I just want to highlight some of the details so that it may be of help. See, you would have heard of PM Mudra scheme, which is a scheme for small businesses. 70% of the loans sanctioned under PM Mudra go to women. That is 30 crore women beneficiaries are already on the record. So banks do give them through Mudra scheme, which is a collateral-free loan. You don't have to come and produce some, land papers or house or gold or jewelry or anything of that kind. Government gives guarantee for it. Then 80% of the sanctioned loans under Stand Up India, which is when we launched the startup support mechanism through the government, we also started Stand Up because we wanted women and the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes also to benefit, because in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, at that time when startups hadn't come, we wanted to make sure people who want to come do something innovative should get support. So Stand Up India has given loans, and 80% of all the Stand Up loans have gone to women. Startup scheme is much talked about. Everybody knows about it. 10% of the SIDBI's fund of funds, which is located. When we started it, government had given 10,000 crores from where SIDBI could generate more money and help startups. In that, 10% of the SIDBI's fund of funds is reserved for women-led startups. So if any one of you all have friends or you yourself have an innovative idea and you want to go about doing it, SIDBI has funds to give you. We also created a e-marketplace, electronic marketplace for selling goods, in the sense when government does its procurement for goods and services, it had this platform created so that everything is bought and sold transparently. And in that, today huge transactions are happening for government to buy things from small Indian entrepreneurs. There is a segment called Womania on the GEM portal, and that is one of the biggest enablers for women SHGs to sell their handmade products directly to various government ministries, departments and institutions. Not just SHGs, any women can come on that. Then public procurement policy, which has been amended in 2018. It's no good we put people on the GEM platform, but we need to have a policy to support buying from women. So it has mandated that we need to procure, government needs to procure at least 3% of all the annual procurement from women-owned businesses, such as from micro and small industries. So women-led businesses, we have reserved 3%. Everything that we buy, 3% will be from women. We have also set up ITIs to help women train in skills. And they are exclusively set up for women. There are 311 such industrial training institutes purely for women and women training. You probably also know that we are making a good effort in the rural areas for training women to operate drones so that in villages, and I think this drone Didi is not just making women do the operation of drones, the mindset in the villages to see women using technology in their own hands and perform in fields where men folk largely and women normally are doing other assistant roles, today are spraying fertilizers, pesticides, assessing the land extent, also looking at the density of the crops. Technology-driven activity in villages, in the rural areas is being done by women because we believe it is important to bring that change. Women are not just going to sit and make papads, they're also using technology to serve the villages. They'll do both. There's nothing wrong in doing anything, pickle making or papad making or sewing. But you need also to show that we're capable of dealing with technology with ease. And government is definitely helping on that. There was mention of startups. 111 unicorns are created in India, and 20 of them have women-led startup leadership. Representation also in the boards of companies. Most often you'll find that big companies say, we can't have women in the boards because we don't get them. But I'm happy to say that in 2018, there were only 13.8% women reaching the boards. Today, that has gone up to 18.3%. Slow, but it is moving upward. There are other things which have a great women's slant, like when we opened the Jan Dhan accounts for everybody who should have an account in the bank inclusion program. I can now say 55% of all the Jan Dhan accounts belong to women. Proportion of women having a bank account has increased from 53% in 2015-16 to 78.6% in 2020-21. I'm not giving you the latest. Latest will be higher than this. I mentioned about the Poshan Abhiyan. 10 crore women benefit from Poshan Abhiyan, which fights malnutrition among women. There is also a scheme called PM Matru Vandana Yojana, which was brought in 2017. In this, more than 3 crore women, particularly pregnant women, receive a financial assistance of 5,000 rupees annually. There are more such, which I spoke about, the way in which women have been brought into defense and so on. The more important one, which I would like to say, being in politics myself, is in the first bill which got passed in the new parliament was the Women's Reservation Bill. 33% of all seats in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, obviously, and to the state assemblies will all be now reserved for women. Of course, it is subject to the census being completed and delimitation exercise being completed, but we are going to have it all the moment it is going to be done. The reservation of 1/3 of seats for women in panchayats was constitutionalized in 1991. And 3 decades after that, we can very clearly say 46% of elected representatives of panchayats are women. What does this number say? Reservation is only for 33% in panchayats. But women have been motivated to see what is reserved. And those who are coming from general seats as well, the non-reserved seats, have also made the number go up. So it's not 33, it is 46%. Sooner, I'm sure it will touch 50%. And otherwise, as is the population, half the population is made of women. There should be half of women coming through, some through reservation and the rest through the general category. So open the door, women will find their space. It is the opening up which is important. I don't need to speak about women in science. You know how the Chandrayaan launch and every ISRO launch, you see a row of women, not one woman sitting, a row of women like you and me, who are sitting launching rockets. What more can be spoken about equality of women, opportunity for women, and women making it big once the opportunity is given to them. But when people lecture to us from abroad, saying, no, India's women are suffering, I would like to quote all these examples. That's not to say there is no suffering. Yes, there are women who are even today oppressed, even today exploited, even today spoken as though they are a commodity. I can't, being in politics, being in an election mode, I can't but refer to the awful reference to one woman candidate by another political party spokesperson, commodifying, sorry for that, making an object of that woman rather than thinking how best she can contribute and give constructive suggestions if you need. You don't need to make a mockery of a woman from, and that is the irony, is another woman from a national party makes fun and in such demeaning language. So I think it is important for us, if anything, to support one another, to motivate one another, encourage one another, and make sure that we are not patronized. We are not patronized at all. We should ensure, because we are capable of doing what we can do, and when we do it full-heartedly. The difference that women bring in is the difference which never has been felt in a completely male-dominated area. It's not as if men don't want you, but once you come, you show what difference you can bring in. And look at the success you have shown here. And I would think, therefore, the first thing is for us women to be sure that we are going to be of constructive help, hold each other's hand, and make sure that we grow to contribute to this country. The government is here for surely listening to your voice and making sure that we contribute to this collective movement of women to say we have a role to play, whichever level be it, whichever domain be it, and we shall play that role full-heartedly. We don't want anyone among ourselves undermining us. It is important to take that forward, and I think organizations like Swiggy really do this business of supporting women, opening up opportunities to women. And look at the way many of you have said. You probably 2 years ago had only this many number of customers. Today it is 5x more, 4x more. These are not successes otherwise. They are by dint of hard work, your dedication, your commitment. And in what way, therefore, are you any less to anybody else? So I appreciate Swiggy for holding this meeting today. And I think all of us will have to take it upon ourselves to help one another, stand by one another, and if anything, promote women in a very big way. Thank you very much.